Week 1 of the 2016 season is in the books, and you know what that means. Time for my first video recap. Welcome to the league, Ben. In Ben's first matchup, he beat out Curtis, who finished in second place last year. And I thought Curtis's team looked even better this year. With the number 2 pick overall, he stole the running back that Kyle wanted and waited until the third round to draft Aaron Rodgers. Headed into Monday night, Captain America needed a big game from Todd Gurley to take the win from the Tecate Hammer games, but he didn't get it. I want to talk to you about that game for a second. Everyone thought the Rams were going to win. Me, you, ESPN, Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, Colin Kaepernick. We all thought the 49ers were going to be terrible this year, worse than the Browns. But that amazing Rams defense we've been hearing so much about made Blaine Gabbert look like Tom Brady. The Rams lost 28-0 in a weekend that broke records for the most close games in the history of the NFL. They were the only team that got shut out. So this weekly recap is brought to you by the city of Los Angeles. No guts, no glory, LA Rams. Kyle Earnsberger won the Shiva 2 years ago and may have another chance if he continues to manage his team the way he did this week. His clutch pickup of Spencer Ware, who replaced the injured Jamal Charles, helped him get the biggest blowout of the week. But don't hit the Slayers' number 2 receiver, Keenan Allen. He went down for the season, so Kyle's going to have to keep making smart moves. Last year was Timmy's first year in the Castillo Desnudo League, and he was able to avoid playing in the Sacco, but this year he may be headed there. Maybe that's why Timmy already named his team name, the Sacco. Hopefully this isn't a self-fulfilling prophecy. His auto-drafted team only scored 75 points in the loss to Kyle. But he wasn't the worst of the week. That honor goes to Michael Niss, whose team performed worse than ESPN servers this weekend. Thankfully, Carlos Hyde put up some big numbers, or this could have been embarrassing. I mean, more embarrassing than it already is to lose to Nick, who has played in both Sacco Bowls, but appears to have put together a decent team this year. It hurts when AP not only has the most creative team name and the most difficult to say, but he got a win in week 1, finished in the top half of the league, and broke 100 points despite getting only 3 from Adrian Peterson. I'm sorry, Mike, but I wouldn't have even known what your team name was trying to say if it wasn't for that picture. The next matchup was between two teams who may not have great fantasy teams, but they have great fantasy names. Macklin, you son of a bitch, beat Fat and Lacey in a nail-biter that came down to the last play of the only Monday night game that mattered. Even though Joey was talking a lot of shit, he was nervous as hell, as anyone should be when they have to match up against my team. But I refused to believe that my team would be beat until Kirk Cousins threw that pick in the end zone in the final minute, sealing both mine and Kyle Base's fate. Kings in the North, another good name by the way, got the win over Setup the Colemans in a low-scoring but still exciting matchup. After C.J. Anderson and Cam Newton's crazy start on Thursday night, the rest of their teams were very disappointing. Luke has Mark Ingram and Kobe Fleener, the only Saints who didn't put up ridiculous numbers against the Raiders defense, who got Kyle -4 points. The best matchup of the week 1 goes to the champ and America's team. Adam, our defending champion, lost to Will by only 1.5 points, but it wasn't really that close until D'Angelo Williams' big Monday night game. Will drafted both Ezekiel Elliott and Dez Bryant in a decision that brought much criticism. But thank God for Dez Bryant's one catch for 8 yards. In such a close matchup, Will needed every half point he could get. Dak Prescott threw the ball 45 times, only twice to Dez, once in the end zone, and after a replay review, guess what? Dez dropped it. But it's all good for Will. He had the highest point total of the week and took down the defending champion. Here are your week 2 matchups. Kyle vs. Joey, Mike vs. Besa, Timmy vs. Nick, Ben vs. Will, Brian vs. Adam, and Luke vs. Curtis. Good luck.